this book makes you think, if nothing else than to piece the story together. Like,
I liked the time travel aspect of it because it leaves like so many like open ends. By the end of the book, he really does a good job of just filling in the whole puzzle, and you can see the whole thing, and you're just like, man, that's a good puzzle.
That's fair. Like, the ending does feel more satisfying.
Oh yeah.
With that analogy, I lost a couple puzzle pieces along the way. That was my problem.
All right, welcome back to another episode of David and Gabby's Book Club. I'm David. This is Gabby.
Hey, everyone.
And this is a podcast where we just hang out, chill, and talk about books and book-related topics.
Yeah, so today we're going to be reviewing The Light of All That Falls, which is the third book in the Licanius series by James Islington / Eilington. We still haven't looked into how to pronounce his name. Maybe one day we will, but not this day.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into just a spoiler-free review of the series as a whole, our overall thoughts about it, go into our rating of this specific book, and then get into some spoiler talk.
Yep.
So without further ado, what did you think about the series as a whole?
I am a huge fan of this trilogy. Like, I think I've mentioned that in every single review, but this is like, I know a lot of people are meh about it.
Oh, really?
I think so. Like, it's just I think there are some people who love it, but most of the consensus is it's all right.
Oh, really?
I'm sitting in the big fan of it category just because it's just hits so many good themes, a lot of like some good questions. Like, the world feels deep, but he also doesn't like fill with a ton of like fluff in terms of trying to make the world deep, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of books try to make their world feel deep, like Tolkien, but they end up just completely missing the point of the story, and
their world building like off to the side,
yeah,
which I think
they're wasting
in their
time.
defense, I don't know that you have to call it wasting time. They're just not in a rush.
Yeah, but I personally don't like that. It's like,
which is funny because it's not how you live your daily life.
Yeah, world building for the sake of world building is just annoying to me.
Did you like history class growing up?
I liked one of my history teachers because he basically he was actually dyslexic, so because of that he didn't use PowerPoints, didn't write on the whiteboard, didn't use anything. He literally just stood up there and basically told stories. Like, it was basically story time with Mr. Christensen. Like, it was that hour, and it was American history. So he just like went through history, but instead of like reading the textbook, instead of going through slides, instead of going through curriculum or whatever, he literally just stood up there and like told stories. And he talked about everything. Like he knew everything so well that it sounded like he was telling his like old college stories, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
It's like about his friends and like what they used to do. It's like, oh, this person, like, he would love just like going out late at night. He just like would do stupid stuff. He did this, and this. Like, one time he did like, it seemed like that in history class. So, sorry, that's a really weird random tangent, but he was awesome.
I just wondered if that like correlated at all to your feelings on real world history, like our real world building.
Every other history class I had a hard time like getting or studying, or it was just very boring for me. But like, he made it, I probably learned the most of any history from him.
I feel like that's like kind of the same. Because you don't complain about world building if it's telling a good story.
Yeah.
If there's purpose behind it, but just world building for the sake of world building is what you're complaining about. I think it's the same. Just
interesting
observation. Yeah.
Any other history people out there that don't like history and don't like the world building stuff? Because I honestly don't think I would have like finished or like been able to get through the Lord of the Rings like without the movies. Like, if the movies had never come out, like, I don't know if I would have, because it's just a lot of world building and background stuff.
Yeah.
But I pushed through it and loved it because I love the movies.
Interesting.
I don't know. Well, the world will never know.
The more we know about ourselves, I think.
I mean, we'll never know if that's the case.
Better books for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, back to this book.
So this book is just, I like it because it sticks to the story, and you can tell it's a very deep and historical world, but he doesn't get too much into it. Like, he gets into it a little bit because it.
You need to.
Yeah, because then you need to, and it's necessary for the story. So he does a very good job of that. And it almost makes you want to have more books in this world because you want to learn more about this world. And I personally think that's the way it should be. Like, you should earn that interest from people in terms of like Tolkien wrote The Hobbit.
Yep.
And it was a very short, and it got into some stuff, but you could tell that there's a lot more to this world. And guess what? People wanted more in this world. And guess what? He wrote Lord of the Rings. After that, people wanted more. So guess what? He wrote Silmarillion, which is just like
history.
All the history that you could ever want. But he didn't put that information in The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings. Like, I feel like a lot of authors will take basically the Silmarillion information because it's just like, that's what people love. They love that depth like Tolkien did, but they put it in the story of the Lord of the Rings, and you're just like, I don't need this information.
But you were just complaining that the Lord of the Rings did put too much information.
I guess a little bit, yeah.
I think you're confusing your argument. Back to the light of all that falls.
Yeah.
Or the Licanius trilogy.
But anyways, he does a really good job of sticking to the story, and it makes you want to learn more about this world. But also, like, the themes of it is just very good. Like, a lot of, not good, because it's one of the themes is like racism and discrimination.
Oh yeah.
But that's not a good theme, but it's good in the sense of it makes you think about it in different ways, different perspectives, and it makes you think about those things. But yeah, the whole main theme basically wrestles with the thought of free will versus predestination. Like, is a sovereign God that's in control of everything and everything that happens. Is that essentially a prison? Are we all slaves to that if we don't choose our own future or make our own decisions? Is that what that means? It is basically arguing, like, if there's a God who knows everything that's going to happen and you can't change it, then do we really have free will? Is essentially what it's arguing, and it's a very it's a very deep thought, but it is very real, especially like in like the Christian worldview because that's a thing that's brought up in the Bible. It's like everything is preordained, everything is predestined by God. And if that's the case, then do we have free will? Do we really like you wrestle with that in real life, and that's what these trilogy is kind of wrestling with, is that kind of theme. And I loved it when it just like came up. I was like, man, this is really good in terms of making arguments for like what's just the thought process and wrestling with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's something people still to this day wrestle with all the time and argue with and about and debate, and I just think I loved it.
Yeah, I liked a lot about this book. I would definitely recommend other people to read it. I have recommended other people to read it. I bought it for my sister. But with the caveat, I think I benefited a lot from reading it with you.
Yeah.
So that we could talk about things and like wrestle through what was going on sometimes. I think that really helped me. And I think you have to commit to reading all of them. Yeah. Like, it's not a good book to read if you need something light and happy in your life. It's probably not the right choice. Or if you're like, wow, those books are really big, I could probably like read one and then take a break and then read the next. No, read all of them. Consider them one book.
Yeah.
Or you'll get lost.
If you absolutely hate it, you don't have to keep reading.
Well,
but
right.
But if you're I think what she's saying, if you're gonna read them all, read them all. Like you want to read them back to back.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like, it has some time travel in it. And so there's things that like from the third book or the second book that happened in the first book that you have no idea what's going on. But then the second and third book, it's explained what happened in the first book, basically, because they went back in time. It's hard to keep track if you just read this, go read other stuff, and then a few months later read the second, and then like
or like in our case right now, I read this many months ago. I probably finished it in October, and it's February.
Probably, yeah.
And so like even thinking back to what happened exactly.
Yeah, trying to tie things together.
Yeah, that is one of the things. I had a lot of likes about this series. One of the things that I did not like as much was all of the time travel. But also thinking back to other books that have had time travel in it, time travel just like twists my mind. And that's why I think it's not a good thing in real life.
That's interesting because we're gonna do an episode of like what we want to read this year, and I kind of like I want to try an epic fantasy again, and like one of them would be either like The Way of Kings from Brandon Sanderson or The Wheel of Time, which The Wheel of Time is just like time travel.
Oh, I did not know that. I guess that makes sense.
That's what The Wheel of Time, like it's basically time travel.
I feel like
I'm pretty sure. I don't know anything about The Wheel of Time other than like everyone loves it. It's a show on
like
Prime,
extra,
and it's about time travel.
And it's super long, right?
Yeah, and it's super long. I heard about it too.
I feel like to commit to something like that, I would need to have one of those, those boards that they have in like mystery, like murder mystery
I know what you're talking
series that have like all of the strings. Like I would legitimately need one of those.
You might, yeah.
Yeah, I needed that for this series. And this series, I mean, they were big books, but there were only 3 of them.
I think I saw like like Daniel Green. I think it was he's a big fantasy YouTuber, and I think he did a explaining all of the Wheel of Time video, and he basically had like a huge whiteboard and did everything. I think the video is like 6 hours long.
That is insane. I don't know if I have that series in me this year.
Well, I don't think the whole series. I was just like 1, maybe 2 books of it, just to like try it out,
But I feel like if it's going to be like one of those, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it would be similar to, I guess I have no idea anything about it other than that it's very long and that Sanderson finished it. But if it's anything like this, I would need to commit or I would get lost. I did have a friend who read it, and she was saying that she was having to Google characters' names.
Oh yeah.
Towards the end because she was like, I forgot who that person was.
Yeah, there's a lot of time travel and stuff. So it is good to read back to back to back.
Yeah, I really liked the characters. I thought that they were super relatable. Mm-hmm. You really feel for them. You feel for them. You feel with them. Yeah. You like the struggles that they encounter. You also struggle with. I think like the overarching themes of like what's right and what's wrong, and even like who is good and who is bad. I think a lot of those themes, I think you could even carry that. I think is one of the beauties of reading, right? Like you get to process a lot of things in parallel with the real world.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of another overarching theme in this book was them wrestling with what is good, like. And I think that what was overarchingly commonly accepted as good did not end up being like it just wasn't as obvious as what you'd expect. And so, and I think that the same can apply like in our day-to-day lives, right? Especially like looking back in history, at one point in time, very cruel American slavery was like commonly accepted and the norm. And I think that you would have a lot of people arguing it was good. But like now having all the facts, I think everyone could, that I think the majority of people now would say that was not good. Right. And so even with like what is our society facing today that is commonly accepted as good, that is not good, So they're things that get you thinking. And that is one thing. Like if this book makes you think if nothing else than to piece the story together. Like your brain will definitely you'll be connecting pathways in your brain.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make you think, but I also really like how everything, I liked the time travel aspect of it because it leaves like so many like open ends, but by the end of the book, I thought the ending was so good in terms of like it connected all of those like puzzle pieces together, if that makes sense. So you're reading it, you have all of these blank opening things in both books, but then by the end of the third, he really does a good job of just filling in the whole puzzle, and you can see the whole thing, and you're just like, man, that's a good puzzle.
That's fair. Like the ending does feel more satisfying.
Oh yeah.
I think my like with that analogy, I lost a couple puzzle pieces along the way. That was my problem. I couldn't juggle them all.
That's true, because I had to explain, like, she was like, how is this even possible? Like, how did this even happen? And I had to explain to her, it's like, well, this, and this, because these things, like, this happened here, and he could do that.
And I was like, oh, wow, my mind is blown. And that is why I think you should read this with somebody else.
Yeah.
Or even commit to reading it twice. I think that I would benefit from I think I would. This would be a series that I would enjoy reading again.
That's another thing I was going to say is like, it's very enjoyable to read a second time because of those like gaps you have the first time.
How many times have you read this?
I've read this twice.
Okay.
So this was the second time I've read it. But because you get like, you have all those gaps reading it and then everything's filled in at the end, you can go back and see like, the end story. Yeah. And so you can see the things developing and why things are certain ways in the first, second, and even the beginning of the third book.
I remember you saying like the prologue. The prologue.
Oh, the prologue to the whole series. Like,
yeah, David kept referencing that. He's like, with every book that you read, you can go back to the prologue of the first book and understand more.
Yeah. Yeah. The prologue of the entire series, you read it and you're just like,
what?
It sounds like he's speaking Chinese. Like you have no idea any of it.
Yeah.
But literally like after each book, after you read the first book, after you read the second book, and even after you finish the third book, you can go back and read it and be like, man,
that's
the
good.
prologue is just, there's so much in it and it's so good.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge fan of this book.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. So I have my overall series rating.
Oh yeah.
Do you?
Oh, I can't.
Is this off the cuff?
No,
off the cuff.
This. I thought about it, but I didn't write it. I didn't like process it on the page, so I don't have it written down.
So we have no proof that this isn't off the cuff.
Okay. So I guess yeah.
I gave it a 4 overall.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was gonna do a 4 as well.
I have some reasoning this time. I thought that you'd be really proud of me about that.
Yeah,
I would want to read it again. I would recommend it to other people. Obviously, it's not something that I think back on a ton, so it's like I'm not giving it a 5. But yeah, I would not be sad to read this again. Would definitely be happy and willing to.
Yeah, so. Yeah, that's my reasoning because I would. Like I did go back and read it again. I wanted you to read it, and then you started reading it, and I was just like, I literally dropped I was reading Red Rising, if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of reading Dark Age. I had just started. I was
I mean,
2
to
or 3
be fair,
chapters
like,
in.
What time read through was that?
That was the second time for the second trilogy.
Okay.
Or the second 3.
But it wasn't the first time.
But it wasn't the first time I read it. Yeah. I was like 2 or 3 chapters in Dark Age, and you were like, and then you decided to read Licanius, and I was like, oh, I'm doing that. And so I just stopped reading Dark Age and went to The Shadow of What Was Lost. It's a very easy like reread, and like I would recommend it to a lot of people. And in my eyes, it's a buy for me. Like I would easily like buy the physical ones to have it on my bookshelf. Just I liked it that much. Because like I have Red Rising, the physical copies of them. We're not big.
He keeps saying that, but like we don't have a ton of space in our house.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like we don't have. Like a lot of people are like they want to read a book, they buy it.
Yeah, that's like their book trophy.
Yeah,
we don't have that luxury.
Ours is, we don't have that luxury. Like this little small bookshelf is like all the bookshelf space we have in our house. So it's either
sharing
like,
it with our children.
And as you can see, the bottom shelf is like full of kids books, but we usually like rent it from the library, check it out, or like read it on Kindle if we can't get it like on the library or anything. And so the physical books are reserved for like stuff we really like, or I know I'm gonna read over and over again. And that, I think this series would be one for the bookshelf. So I think it's a safe buy, but like just knowing that like some people don't like the series for like, and I can kind of see why, because the first book is really good.
I would have struggled with liking it if I hadn't had you to talk things through with.
Like the first one is really good in terms of like, I think a lot of people would like the first one. The second one, I think a lot of people lose.
Yeah, I think I could see a lot of people being lost by the second one. There's just it's hard to keep track of. That's where it really gets hard to keep track of. Yeah, that's when
it gets hard to keep track of. It's like, it shares a lot of the history of the world to kind of explain where they're going for the third.
Yeah.
It's more of like a setup for the third book than it is
its own story.
So it's a little hard to get through. But the ending is just,
it
is such a good ending.
It is wonderful.
It is a wonderful ending. And it leaves a lot of like, it still leaves a lot of open ends in terms of like continuing on in this world. Like the trilogy is complete, like it's done. The whole conflict is resolved, but there are other things that are left open-ended to where James Islington can come back and write not just like side stories within that trilogy, but make another trilogy in this world, like post
for sure
conflict.
I need to go to the bathroom. We need a bathroom break.
And we're back. Had a short potty break, but we're back.
Yeah,
no. So yeah, did we have any other thoughts on the trilogy as a whole?
Nah, I think we had all the big things.
Yeah, I think it is worth trying.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, I've already listed my caveats for trying it.
Yeah.
I think that you'll like it best with a buddy and acknowledging that you need to commit to it.
Yeah.
If you enjoy it. So.
Yep. All right, we're going into the review of The Light of All That Falls. So we're going to spoil the first two books, and then after we give our rating, our spoiler-free rating, then we will go to spoiler talks for the third. So you have been warned.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the third book.
Where do you even begin?
Yeah, like up to this point, basically, like the boundary is blown open. Davian's stuck in prison, and he released Caden by cutting his head off in the prison.
Yes.
And then Asha's in the tributary.
Saved the boundary.
Wirr's mom died, and they're just headed back.
Yeah, it ended at a very high, like, what is going on?
Yeah. So.
For sure.
Which is crazy, because we just talked about how Echo of Things to Come is just, like, very slow and stuff. But the ending of Echo of Things to Come was just, like...
intense.
A
lot of monsters ended up getting through the boundary before it was able to shut. Like, this whole army. And so, Wirr and who all is with him at this point? Aaron, right?
Yeah, Aaron, Ishelle... Kara. Well, Kara went off to do her own thing, but Kara came back with him, and then Taris is back. Like, he didn't go to the boundary with them, but he came back. So yeah, so this story is mainly Wirr. Like, so Wirr's trying to fight what came from the boundary, but also like. He thinks there's still a threat to the boundary, even though he knows Asha's in the tributary fortifying it. So he's doing that. Caden is trying to just like figure out, because the Venerate have Licanius, and he promised he'd save Davian. And so now he's trying to figure out how to do that, how to get Licanius back from the Venerate to complete his whole mission of closing the rift, which you need Licanius to do. And then Asha's in the tributary. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then I was trying to think of like who else I need to talk about, but yeah, Davian, the main character of the whole story.
Yeah, a lot of the story focuses on.
And he's in prison. So this book is basically just like about Davian in prison, Caden figuring out how to get Licanius and destroy the rift, and then Wirr's trying to figure out
how to get people to work together.
Yep, and then Asha's being stabbed
continuously.
Yeah. So yeah, what did you think about just like the pacing, the overall pacing of the book?
It spent a lot of time on Davian's story.
Yeah. Which I feel like Davian's story was the slowest.
Yeah, I would agree. It was definitely the slowest. I think that I'm gonna go ahead and say I really enjoyed different parts of it, especially like as that part came to a resolution, but during, and I think this is a trend in a lot of my reviews, but it was, he was in prison. There wasn't a lot of good going on in his situation. It was just like bad to worse to bad to, okay, that's like better, but like not good.
Yeah.
So I didn't love that part of the book, and a lot of the book focused on that. So
it's interesting because a lot of, I agree with you, but a lot of trilogies, like you get to the third book and it's just like everything is already in motion. So like just from the get-go, you're just like off to the races type thing. Like I'm thinking, well, it's not even a trilogy, but like the last Harry Potter book, like it's most of the Harry Potter books is like slow. The conflict isn't started and it's slow. You're hanging out and then a conflict arises and then everything picks up to solve the conflict. But like the last book of Harry Potter, the conflict, all of that has already happened and you're just following immediately into the action of the conflict. And I feel like a lot of trilogies trend that way in the sense that like a lot of everything's already built up, the conflict's already there, everything's already established, and we're going. The same thing with the last book, which is another that I say most trilogies, and the two examples I say are not trilogies, but Aragon, the fourth book of Aragon is the same way. It's like Inheritance. It's literally the opening scene. You're just you're going. When compared to those books, those kind of trends, I would say that this is a very slow book. It compared to those things. I wouldn't say it's slow overall, but like for a climax book.
For the last book.
Yeah. For the last book, it starts pretty slow. And especially Davian's storyline is slow because he's in prison. It feels like you're not going anywhere. It's just a lot of stuff just happening, and you're not moving towards the conclusion. But a lot of the book is focused on him, so it's like his was probably my least favorite in terms of like. Which to be fair, like a slog to get through.
Everybody else kind of continues off of what has been building from the second book. And Davian's is a big one that's not where he was last book. So you have to kind of reestablish what's going on.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Like everyone else's storylines fits that like stereotypical last book.
You built up to this.
They're off to the races. You hit the ground running, basically with everyone else's storyline. But Davian's like.
Which is probably why he spends so much time with Davian, because you need to establish what's going on in his world more than the others.
Yeah, so
makes sense. But
Davian's is pretty slow, and it's very hard to get through for me because, like I said, like I like things to move forward in the story, and it doesn't. A lot of it doesn't seem like it's moving the story forward, even though it is. Mm-hmm. It is moving it forward. But it's very hard to get through. So in terms of pacing, I wasn't a huge fan of that. It was actually easier the second time because I knew
that it contributed.
Yeah, that things contributed to the story. Mm-hmm. So Yeah, it's kind of hard to get through that first part. That was my big, like,
spoiler-free review.
Spoiler-free, like, that was my biggest complaint, I think, was the pacing.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah. What are your thoughts?
It's hard to go spoiler-free. Mm-hmm. I think that reading this book was more enjoyable than the second book because of the foundation that the second book built. I liked the ending a lot.
Yeah, I can't get over how good the ending is. And you can even see it coming. Like, I saw it coming. Yeah. Like, halfway to 3/4 of the book.
But, like, you didn't understand how.
Yeah, well, I could guess. I guessed how, though.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's right, you did.
I predicted the end. So it's a very predictable ending.
Yeah.
But it's still just as satisfying, even though I knew or guessed what how it ended, and I was right. It was just so good. He did such a good job ending that book or that series.
Yeah, if you can stick it out, the ending is worth it.
It's very good. Like you'll finish it and be like, it's so good. It's just such a good ending.
Mm-hmm. I think
What's
I'm good.
your total rating? Yeah, this isn't super long. We didn't think that the spoiler-free one would be super long because like you've already.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching the third book review, I'd say maybe pay attention more to the overall. And you haven't read any of them, the overall review of the series is probably more applicable. And then if you've read the book and you want to talk about it, like, let's talk about it.
Yeah, which we'll do soon after our ratings.
Yeah, 4. I give it a 4.
You gave it a 4?
Mm-hmm.
I gave this, I think, gosh darn it, I don't want to do quarter points again.
They're necessary.
I think that, yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand your gripe against them.
I'll do 4.25. Fine. I think it's more than a 4 because of the ending. It's just so good. So for me, it's more than a 4. And then
it's not a 4.5.
But then it's not a 4.5 because of that pacing complaint earlier. Like, it was very hard to get through certain parts of this book. And it's very hard to kind of see, like, it feels like the story's not going forward at all, and this is just filler.
Yeah.
A lot of it does. It feels like that. And so because of that, I can't give it a 4.5. Like, I just can't. So I guess I'm doing quarter points.
Just embrace it. Be happy about it. It's a good thing.
Be happy about it.
I don't understand your block to the quarter point. Sometimes it just feels right, doesn't it?
Whatever.
All right, let's get into spoiler talk.
This is your warning. We are about to talk spoilers for The Light of All That Falls, or the entire series, because at this point we can spoil the entire series. It doesn't matter. So, you've been warned.
Yes.
Continue on in your own volition. So, what do you want to talk about first?
Maybe let's talk about Wirr situation.
Mm-hmm.
I felt super frustrated for him. Because, the ending of the previous book is so intense. And he comes back after going to the border to prove that there's a problem.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, all right, sure. But, what's your proof? Like, you say that there's this army, but now this army has, disappeared.
Yeah.
And so...
And everyone you took... They're dead. And so I feel like Wirr's situation just showcases how fractured this society is as a whole, between the gifted and the non-gifted, and just how the abuse of power on both sides of the equation at this point in time have just, I feel like, fractured the society to the point where, have you ever heard of the Noyu effect? I think is what it's called. Mm-mm. We talked about it in AP biology in high school, but it's essentially under extreme stress, the theory is that a society forms bonds that
otherwise would not have been created. Like an example given was World Trade Centers being hit, right? Like right after that happened, America as a whole, like was
Gotcha.
like, we are American and like we are against what just happened right there.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah,
something needs to happen about that. But like now, what are we, like 25 years later? Like we're more fractured as a society.
Yeah. Like a common enemy.
Right.
Common enemy brings people together type thing.
Kind of a thing, yeah. Right. And so I think that outside of a really big stress put on the society in this book, I don't know that they would ever come to a point where everybody's would live happily ever after.
Yeah.
I think it would just be a continuous cycle of trying to get back in power, which I mean, I guess, is that ever not the case in life, right? Like it's just people trying to get into power to be the most important. But yeah, I was so frustrated by that. It's like, I thought that we'd gotten past this at this point.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting with Wirr, like, because just he's almost like him and Taris were like the two extremes in terms of like Wirr is like everything's black and white and I do things white. I do things by the book. And Taris is very much like the ends justify the means type thing. Like they're both extremes there. But then in this book, I think it happened a little bit towards the end of the last book, but this one, Wirr all ends up like around here in terms of like, it's not as naive in the sense that everything is not black and white.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gray area. And I don't think he goes all the way to Taris in terms of like,
would do anything
to
justify the outcome.
The ends justify whatever means necessary. I don't think he's completely to that point, but he's willingly using his Oathstone power like all willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Well, not all willy-nilly, but like
definitely using it more.
Yeah, he's not hesitant to use it. Especially to people who he knows are evil. So like the very first scene, that administrator from Tolshan. Is it an administrator or was it just one of the elders? It was one of the elders of Tolshan. Okay. Basically, he just immediately was like, you're going to tell me everything and all the truth. You're going to answer everything truthfully and what you think that I would want to know. And then he asks him all the questions about all of the stuff that they know, and then he finds out that Elinalon is going to be destroyed, and it's just which is like good that he knows, like he got a lot of very valuable information with that, but like he would not have done that at the beginning of the second book. Like that would just not have been the case. And it's just kind of like, it's cool to see just the development of like, it's been a year now. And so it's essentially been a year of like, even though it's not war because they don't know where the monsters are, but like he's in like war mode, and it's just changed him. And so you can see, it's cool that the fact that you can see the wear of all of that on him and his ethics, that he isn't, everything's not black and white, and he's very much jumping into the gray areas.
So I wonder, like after the resolution, what do you think Wirr's gonna be like?
Oh, I don't know. Like, do you think he's gonna give up the Oath Stones?
I don't know. See, that's what I was saying about like the society. So they had this big bad happen, and so I feel like there was some semblance of cohesion. But now what?
Yeah.
Now that conflict has been resolved,
They're going to have to unite against the Lyth.
No. Potentially.
I do think that's like, I don't know. I think it'd be cool to write some, because even they told Asha that like, if the rift is closed, like they're coming after her because they have access. She has access to their powers, and they're like, well, we have other ways to fight. Essentially, they basically threatened her. Remember that?
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Huh.
But now I'm wondering, because they're, well, no, I guess they don't have the logo or whatever, the tattoo on their arms.
Oh,
I was thinking if Wirr can control them, the Lyth, but I don't think he can because they don't have
the mark.
The mark. They might. I don't know. I don't know if they have the mark or not. But that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that Wirr would help Asha fight the Lyth by telling him to stop.
Don't do that. That seems too simple.
But yeah, I just thought that whole thing was interesting, especially like sorry, this is just another like tie-in with Mistborn, but like just then at the very end, oh, not the very end, but the battle for the column, he basically like uses the oath stone to tell everyone to like fight to their death, essentially. But that one he did, like, he got everyone's consent, type thing, and it's just like, and knowing like you would fight better or whatever, not thinking about it or whatever, if that makes sense. You wouldn't hesitate. So I always think about like weightlifting. There was a kid in our class, he was autistic, and he's autistic to the point where I think he still lives with his parents, I believe, but he was very strong, like, and he like I think he could lift more than, like, he could get more out of everything, because like he didn't even like think about like, this is hard and I can't get this. And so like those thoughts just never really came to his mind, you know? It's like, so like, is a big mental part of like lifting is like you're benching and you're just like, it's getting a lot, and that little thought comes in your mind is like, I don't think I can get this because it's so heavy. And then you don't. But like, he could push past that because it's like, he just didn't really even think about that. It's just like, I'm benching this. Like, so
that's
like,
is.
Yeah, it just is. And because of that, I think he could bench a lot more than like someone equally as strong as him, because he just didn't have that mental barrier of like, I can't do this. Like, he was just like, oh, I can do that. In his mind, he can do anything, you know? So he did. He was very strong. But that's what I thought of. Like, he's basically eliminating that like mental barrier of like, I can't do this, or I can't go on, or whatever. It's like, it's completely getting rid of it. So you can go do more than, because I mean, that's what a big thing with any fitness is, like, you can do more than what you think you can do. It's just the mental barrier of like saying you can't, or you can't keep going, or you can't whatever, that stops you, even though your body can actually go farther.
Yeah, I forgot about Wirr doing that with the Oathstone.
Like, there's like a similar scene in Mistborn. I don't want to talk to that because that's spoilers for Mistborn, but like there's like a similar thing that happens in Mistborn. It's like, oh, that's another thing that he like is influenced by Mistborn in this.
Okay, what do you want to talk about next? I liked Asha being super powerful.
Oh,
that was pretty cool. Like, when she like could jump super far and killed all of those monsters on the island because she's so super powerful and strong. I just liked that. I thought that was kind of a cool arc for her character, to like be turned into a shadow against her will, without any memory of it. And then to be like turned to like, now I don't have, like, I'm not a shadow anymore, but now I'm bound. Like, now I have an obligation to keep the boundary going. Yeah. But then like she escapes from that and is now super powerful and strong. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Asha's whole storyline, he does so well. And I think there's just a lot of criticism with like guys writing girl characters like not well or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I think Asha was written really well. In my opinion, I'm a guy. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I liked her storyline.
No, I just I just blanked.
It was kind of like weird but cool for her to interact with Caden's old wife.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they're like kind of like besties.
Yeah. Well, even with Caden, it was a little awkward because like she's best friends with Wirr and Davian, and Caden's really good friends with Wirr and Davian, but they had never interacted before.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So that was just like awkward at first. It's just like, which you don't realize until
because you know all of them so well. Yeah, you're right.
And you're just like, oh, this is awkward. But I do really like just how, I don't know. I think there's a lot of stories that like put in girl characters or bolster girl characters just for the sake of having a strong female character, and it seems forced. You know what I mean?
Sometimes
there's a lot of times where sometimes it feels forced and it just doesn't work because you can tell that the author's doing it just to have a strong female character in the story, because he was like, oh, this is missing, let's try to fit it in there. This does not feel like that, and she's one of the most powerful characters in the book, and it's just, he does, like, her whole arc, like you said, is just so good.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
She's a great character, like all three of the...
And I like that she made it out of the tributary.
Mm-hmm. I also liked how they didn't just like leave her in terms of the story.
Yeah.
Like she was still a very important arc in the story, to where you're with her in the I think it's called the Doken, or whatever his mind place.
Yeah, his palace.
Paradise is. I liked that. Like, that was one of the big questions I had when I started reading the third one for the first time. I was like,
are we just done with Asha?
Is Asha just like gone until like the end or whatever? But then it, like, the third or fourth chapter, it goes to Asha, and you're just like, oh, nice. We are gonna have her in this book. Yeah, he did Asha so well. Like, I don't think that, like, out of the four main characters, like, I think they're all up here, like, on the same level in terms of, like...
Yeah, they were all written.
They were all so good, and, like, there's no weak link in terms of, like, who's my favorite. I like them all, and they're so good.
I kind of like Wirr the least.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Maybe just because there's more politics.
I liked all of them really well. Yeah, and Asha's just such a good character, in my opinion. I didn't like how, like, Taris never reconciled with Davian.
Oh.
Like, in the second one, Davian, or it might have been the first book. I can't remember if it was the first or the second book, but, like, Davian finds out that Taris, like, set up him getting his scars, and Davian learned how, and it was after he met with Malshash at the beginning, because he learned how to, like, how no one can hide the lying from him, even if they tried. And then he approached Taris about it after that, and he had the headache when he said, like, no, I didn't do that.
That's right, I forgot about that.
And so, like, their whole relationship was shattered. I don't remember if that was the end of the first book or, like, sometime in the second book, but then he never reconciles that, like, with Davian. Like, he talks about it with Wirr, but he saves Davian. Well, saves, like, Davian would not have died if he fell into the rift, but he, like, grabbed Davian and pulled him out of the rift and died. So he saved Davian's life, sacrificed his life to save Davian. But I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way that he was never able to, like,
well, maybe he was saying, like, there's probably never going to be, like, a complete reconciliation for that.
Yeah.
There's, like, some things I think, like, you can't fully heal.
Yeah. I mean, he did tell Wirr the whole thing, I'm pretty sure. And so, like, hopefully, like, it does. That's obviously not in the book, but, like, hopefully Wirr
explains things more fully to Davian.
And Davian ends up forgiving Taris, hopefully. Yeah. That'd be my hope.
Yeah. It's kind of like maybe his resolution to, like, resolving that was to kill Terrace, just like his resolution, like with Wirr's mom, was to kill his mom. Maybe if things are just too hard to resolve, just maybe they die.
Maybe. That would explain a lot in The Strength of the Few.
Not funny.
Sorry, I'm not going to talk anymore about that. That's spoilers for The Strength of the Few. Anyways,
I thought it was mind trippy that like Davian hung out with his dad, and that his dad and his mom were from like 2 different time periods.
Yeah,
and that Davian died before he was born.
Zvaelar was like Zvaelar was the biggest, like, when I said in my spoiler-free review that there's just like slow parts and Davian, like Zvaelar was like the slowest for me. Like it was so hard to get through the first time, but the second time I read it, it was like actually really fun because I knew like this guy's Davian's dad, which is really funny because when Davian was sneaking out, like a lot of like some people having read it one time might not remember it, but like I caught it easily the second time.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was his dad. Like Davian was sneaking out to go do stuff, and like Lyth came and like confronted him about it. He was like, "You're going and like doing something at nights," and he's like, "You've noticed?" He's like, "You haven't said anything." He's like, "I mean, I'm not your dad, so I'm not gonna." He's like, "I'm not you're a grown man, and I'm not your dad, so I can't tell you what to do." It's like, I thought that was hilarious. It's like, but you are his dad.
Well, and it was just like, because I can't remember. They're all from different time periods, right?
Yeah. So
his mom and his dad, how far apart were they? Do you remember?
They were like close to 1,000. I thought they were like 1,000 years apart.
And then she came back to a different time period than when she had left, right?
Uh-huh.
That's just...
Or no, she came back. She went back to the same time period.
She did?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was just like right before the boundary closed or something like that. I don't remember exactly when, but like it was like that was her normal time.
Because I thought that the boundary closed like 100 years ago. And how did Davian get to the time that he's in? Did Talcamar bring him? Talcamar took the baby, right?
Yeah, he took him across the boundary.
But not to a different time.
No. He just crossed the boundary and gave him to Terrace. So the boundary must have already been up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the boundary was like up at least 100 years before.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like current time period.
So yeah, the boundary's been up in her time.
Yeah, that was...
I loved, like, the second time reading through, I loved Zvaelar. Just how much things happened, and a lot of, like, answers and things are answered from what happened in Zvaelar.
Right. Yeah. And it's just kind of like heartwarming that he got to spend so much time with his parents. Yeah. Even though he didn't know it.
Yeah. And I just loved all the time he spent with Caden, with Talcamar there too. It's like I think that's what like truly solidified their friendship the most was Zvaelar.
Yeah.
So, and then they came back and like Caden had remembered Zvaelar, and Davian was already in Zvaelar. So like they came back and they were like
still best buds.
Yeah. 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, but I just thought that was so good. And it's funny because like the whole when I was reading it the first time, or the second time through, when I was reading the first book the second time through, we went to Dylanus, and then Davian got captured by the rift or whatever, and I was just so pumped because I was just like, oh man, is in my mind I'm just like, man, this is like just a trilogy about just two friends, like friendship, lifelong friendship, and it's starting right now. Like I was just so pumped. It was like that friendship is just so good. It's like a lifelong, for Caden, Davian is a lifelong friend
Oh, yeah.
Like he's known him like his whole, like
For a long
for
time.
hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
For Davian, it's like a few, but like for Caden, it's like his whole, like a large portion of his life is spent with Davian. And I was like, and this is where it begins. Let's go. Like, I was just so pumped for that journey with Davian and Caden. So,
Nice.
but yeah, it is a very good second read. It's just heartwarming, all the like time he has with Malshash and all of that. So, and then the ending. Did you guess the ending?
I think I guessed the ending.
Yeah.
I think partially due to your hints.
Oh.
But I liked
Did I hint it?
Not intentionally.
Oh.
I think that like I could just pick up on some subtle things, like some explanations that you had that you went into pretty hard, and yeah. So.
Okay.
I mean, I think you're going through it, and you're like, they've hit on Davian dying so many times.
Yeah.
He can't die.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's been programmed into me. But it's like, no. Like, no.
Yeah. I think it was when they were still in Talon-Gol and they were, I think it was when they had gotten Licanius from Shmaloth and they were running through Talon-Gol. Caden had already died and was resurrected. And they figured out he doesn't have a source or whatever. And that one, I think is when it started to, I thought maybe, I think that I was like, that has to be significant somehow. I don't know how. But then as soon as they went to, what was it? Diara was the one who was like in the Dokkan or whatever, or stuck in the Dokkan. Trapped, and so they found her like room and she was sleeping and he killed her in her sleep. I think it was Diara.
I don't remember.
I think that was her name, or Diana. I don't think it was Diana though. That's too normal of a name. I think it was Diara. But when they went to go kill Diara, or they found the life forces of Seer or whatever, one of those moments they're in Talon-Gol, and Davian or someone asked for the ring back, or Diara had the ring. Had Caden's ring from when he was whatever, and they found it, and Davian was like, oh, that's my ring, and Caden was just like, nah, I'm not giving it to you, because he knew like Davian had the ring when he killed him, so he was like, if I don't give you the ring, that means you can't go back yet, so I'm gonna keep the ring. And then that's when it hit me. I was just like, wait, he killed Davian. He doesn't have a source, so he can go on the rift, and he killed Davian, so now he can transform into Davian, even though Davian's alive, and he's just gonna forget about this ring in his pocket, and he's just gonna go back to the rift himself, and then he's Davian. Like that's when it that's when it clicked. I was like, Caden's going back, and he's dying as Davian.
Yeah. I knew that he was gonna die I knew that he was going to die. It was just, how was he going to die as Davian? Right, because you can only transform into somebody that you've killed.
Yeah.
But he had killed Davian.
Yeah. That's wild to me. I was just like, oh. So, and that's the part I had to explain to you, because you didn't understand how he could transform into Davian or anything. And I was just like, because that baby and like what he did at the end of Zvaelar, he killed Davian. So,
right.
So he has his imprint.
Bizarre. Yeah. Mind blowing. I thought that like it was bittersweet that Caden died though.
Yeah, that was, because the whole journey, like you're just learning so much about him.
And he's on such a redemptive arc, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
On one level, it's like you've lived so many lifetimes.
Yeah.
And you're ending on a high note. Like,
yeah.
It felt resolved, but it also was like there could have been more with, was it Wirr's cousin that he liked?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, she died in like the beginning of the second book, so.
Well, I know, but like there was just like
Kara.
Yeah, he had all of his friends. Like it felt for a second like he was gonna have another chance. paths.
Yeah.
But out of the two, like I would have chosen Davian.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's another reason why I love this story so much, is that like, it's another thing that it just shows like how much like Davian's relationship with him changed him, you know? It's like Davian completely changed Talcumar for the better, you know? And it was just so good. Just that relationship with him.
Who your friends are matters.
Yeah, and it's just like your friends can really change you, like for better or for good.
Yeah,
And
I mean, like
this
the
one is
Venerate, and the influence of the Venerate as his friends after the whole situation with his wife, and then like his friendship with Davian and Wirr and everybody and their influence. And,
yeah. It was so good. Just seeing like just Caden's whole redemptive arc of killing everyone to save his wife, try to save his wife, and he never did, and then just the vindictive side of him, like even finding that priest and like basically skinning him alive to torture him.
Yeah.
And just going from that to like accepting Eliavia's death and fate, to the point where like he goes and sees her, like the real her, not the shadow of her in Nethgala, but like the real her, and through the time travel, like, through the rift, and he still is just like, he's like accepted that she's gone, type thing. And even that moment was just so good, of like just the fact of like owning your mistakes, but like doing your best to change,
right? Like there's still redemption.
Yeah, like it doesn't erase what you did. But yeah, it was just so good. It's such a good book. It's such a good book.
It is.
Oh, do we want to talk about Aelric and Dezia?
The perspective that we lost.
Yes. I do think that that'll be a pretty cool book. I still am under the theory that somehow that ties back to the world of the will of the many.
That would be really
strength
cool.
Of the few. Yeah.
That would be really cool if that could tie back.
Yeah, somehow. I don't know how, but that would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, it was convenient that he had this special armor that could destroy the columns.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just wild that they just got all these power-ups and stuff that just, it's not explained.
Cool. We'll accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that he could write a really cool book, like explaining all the lore of that and stuff. It seems like Nesk. I think that's what that country of the south is. Nesk.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like a whole new, I think there's just a lot of lore around that too.
Yeah. That we just didn't have time to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the challenge of writing multiple perspectives, right?
Yeah.
Because like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Without having
and that would be
books and
and
being able to have a story arc within each book.
And that would have been more because he never followed Aelric or Dezia. The whole series you're following Wirr, Asha, Davian, and Caden. And then if he wanted to do that one, he would have added a fifth perspective in the middle. Like it would have been the middle of the series, because I think Dezia left in the middle of the second book to go after Aelric.
Right. Which, I mean, I'm sure it would have been like really cool. But, and like if he comes out with that book, or when he comes out with that book, I'm sure it'll be like a, like the Star Wars discussion. If you've never watched Star Wars, it's like, okay, are you going to go 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3? Like it came out as, or are you going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Because that's like the timeline, Yeah. So like, are you going to go 1, 2, read Aelric's story and then come back to 3? Or are you going to go 1, 2, 3, Aelric's story?
I think you would go 1, 2, 3, then Aelric's story.
I don't know.
Well, because it just raises that question mark. I was like, wait, what happened? Where have you been? Then you go and find out.
Well, right. But like chronologically, if you wanted to do it chronologically, like you totally could make the argument. Like if he comes out of it.
But then that could spoil the third book.
Not if he ends it. Like, at a point where like Aelric doesn't. I think he could write it in a way that it wouldn't spoil it.
No, I think it's no. You just don't read it chronologically.
So the Star Wars 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3 is the argument that you were proposing.
Yeah.
The way it came out.
Yeah, the way it was released. I don't know. I think it's one of those things that you just got to read it when it came out. That's why I wanted to know the release order of Narnia, because it starts with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But like, I'm like, when am I supposed to read The Magician's Nephew? Because it's not technically the first, even though it's one.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you said it didn't really matter, in your opinion. I don't know. There might be some people watching this be like, it doesn't matter.
It's been a while since I've read them all, but from what I remember, I don't think it super matters.
But I think I just love how everything ties back, or like ties again to previous books. Like finding out that Nethgala was Carolean the whole time.
Yeah.
So like rereading the second book. Oh, is it the second book? It might have been the end of the first book.
I don't remember.
No, it was the second book. It was the second book. He goes back and visits Alinolon and to see Kara or Kara, and to warn her about Nethgala, and she is like super like, she forgives him easily, and you're just like, when you first read it, you're just like, wow, she's just completely like, no, that's fine. You don't know why. But that makes more sense. And then also she's a very like concerned, like, so what are you going to do when you see Nethgala? Are you going to kill her? Like, she's very like interested in what he's going to do when he sees Nethgala, and stuff. And so you're just like, oh, that's because it's Nethgala.
Right.
And then at the boundary, she's wanting to like light all the bodies on fire, when they're all dead. Wirr's wondering why, and she's just like, I want to give them a proper burial, or a proper, like, we don't have time to bury them, but let's give them a proper like memorial or whatever. She wanted to spend the time to burn it, but that's what she's saying. But like, it's Nethgala, and she knows that these guys are gonna wake up and kill us if we don't burn them.
Right. I didn't like Nethgala.
Yeah, Nethgala was. She was a very good, like, she didn't overtake much of the villain of the book. Like he did a very good job of keeping like the Venerate and Shemaloth as they are the enemies. But Nethgala was like he did a very good job of like tying her in, of like messing things up and throwing a wrench in things without her being like either annoying or like overtaking.
The big bad.
Yeah. I think that was good.
Yeah, for sure.
And then what Caden learned in the mirrors or whatever, like at the very, I forgot what they're called. They were like the mirror, some
I know what you're talking
the
about.
mirrors of truth or something.
Yeah.
And you go and you look into like 100 of them, and then you can choose one to remember, and the rest you don't remember.
Right.
And it's at the very depths of like Tolathian in Alinolon, and Asha is just like, well, what did you learn? And he was like, I'll tell you like after everything is resolved. And he never actually tells you, and you're just like, wait, what? I really wanted to know, but he says it in the prologue. You remember that? Yeah, he says what he learns in the prologue of the whole series, not the prologue of the third book, the prologue of the first book. He says what he learns at those mirrors. Here, let me pull it up. This series is so good. Yeah, I found it. So Shemaloth is confronting Talcamar in the prologue. Tal continued, growing more confident with each word. Yes, he repeated, but I was mistaken. I followed the path he set me upon. I found proof. He paused, with his voice stronger now. I went to Reskartha. I asked the Lyth, stronger again. I went to the wells of Mor Aruil and spoke with the keeper. I found Nethgala at the crossroads and tortured her until she told me all she knew. Now he shouted, the rage of so many years finally released, a mighty roar that seemed an echo across all of Talangol and beyond. I went deep beneath the mountains, beneath Alintora itself. I found the mirrors. I gazed into them and found one thing. He stopped, panting, face twisted with grim triumph. One truth above all others. The shadow crept closer, menacing now, the silver gone from its voice. What did you find, Talcamar? It hissed mockingly, and Tal drew a deep breath. That you are false. He said it calmly, staring defiantly at the dark mass. Completely and utterly false. So that was the one.
That he chose
Truth.
to remember.
Yeah. In the mirrors. So, like, he knew without a shadow of a doubt that Shemaloth was bad.
Huh.
So, because that's the thing that he took from the mirrors.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know that I had pieced that together. If I had, I forgot. Man.
yeah. I don't think I caught that until the second read. I read through it and he was like, oh, that's what he found at the mirrors. He never actually says, like, Asha asked him, but he never actually told her.
Right.
And you never get it from him because he goes and he dies.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah, there's so
That
many
was
of those, like, tiebacks.
Yeah, that was the final, like, straw. Is like he literally went to the mirrors of truth or whatever. The mirrors of Irised. This book, this series is just so good. I love it. I would love more books in this series, which I think he's planning on doing after he writes the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Which, who knows, the hierarchy might be in this universe. You don't know.
You're really hoping.
I'm really hoping. Hey, if that becomes true, you heard it here first. I'm just saying.
Did. Yeah.
All like 50 people that watch our videos. You guys heard it here first.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't think I have anything else. Let us know, like, what your favorite, like, tie-in or twist or, like, big aha moment from this series was, or, like, what your favorite thing about it.
Yeah, that would be interesting, like, to see if there's any that I meant, like, any that, well, specifically David has missed. Yeah, if you can give David an aha moment, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and then we should have links in the description for our next reviews. I think our next few videos are going to be like topical videos, but we're thinking about maybe doing Narnia next.
Yeah,
we haven't officially decided. We were between Dune and Narnia, and we're thinking Narnia is a little lighter, easier to get through, get some momentum, and then tackle Dune later. But yeah, we're gonna have links in the description for like our next book review, next series, whatever. Those are affiliate links, and so those help our channel like a lot. So if you purchase from those links, it doesn't make it any more expensive to buy it for you from like Amazon or wherever you want to buy them from, but it gives us a little bit of a kickback for them. So it helps support the channel, and no extra cost for you if you were already planning on buying whatever books are linked down there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sounds good. With that, I think we'll catch you in the next one.
Yep. We'll see you later.
Yeah,